The California Public Utilities Commission will vote tomorrow on whether to allow 2 new gas-powered energy plants to be built and 1 plant upgraded in San Diego County. There's been wide opposition to these so-called peaker plants, and tomorrow's decision will determine if SDG&E can move forward on the plants. Joining me with more is my guest, Bill Powers, a utility and energy engineer and an expert witness for the gas turbine proceeding currently before the CPUC. Thanks, Bill, for joining us. The decision tomorrow is somewhat limited by the CPUC. What will they exactly be deciding?
What they'll decide tomorrow is that the original applications were for a 2014 start date. The Commission has determined that there's no possible need before at least 2018, and they will decide to deny these applications but allow SDG&E to come back almost immediately with an amended application where the turbines start in 2018 or the contracts start in 2018.
And these are contracts for what we're calling, or what is called, peaker plants. Tell us what peaker plants are and how they're used.
Peaker plants are intended, they consist of a gas turbine like on a jet engine connected to an electric generator. They're generally used during peak heat waves in summer to fill in, providing additional power to what the baseload plants cannot supply.
And they call them peaker plants because they're supposed to be used as a backup during peak times,
exactly.
Correct? Okay. Now, the San Diego City Council said no to the Quail Brush peaker plant proposal due to some environmental impact. Where are these other 2 plants that are being proposed? Where are they going to be?
One is in Escondido. It's relatively small. It's an upgrade from an existing plant that will likely go forward, separate from Quail Brush that you mentioned. Pio Pico is on the border next to an existing large plant, the Otay Mesa plant.
Right, and the Quail Brush, just to be clear, was near the Mission Trails Park,
right.
And that
Quail
was
Brush
sort of the environmental impact that had some issue, and we'll get back to that. I do want to talk about, you're an expert witness at the proceedings, CPUC proceedings, and you oppose all 3 of these plants, proposed plants, correct?
Correct.
Okay, how come?
There's no need for these plants, and that was the testimony in the proceeding. The Commission, using the most conservative approach, was able to see or present a possible need in 2018, 5 years out. But there were several parts to that, including shutting down existing power plants here in San Diego that are perfectly functional, that would have to be shut down to even show that need 5 years out.
So not needed. Now, Clean Tech San Diego, it's a local group that supports alternative and renewable energy, according to their definition. They refused to join us for this interview, but their executive director, Jim Warning, told KPBS yesterday why we need peaker plants.
Based upon existing technologies, you cannot have deployment of renewables without having peaker plants. So that's a given. 99% of people would agree with that statement. The variable is, well, okay, what does that really mean now? Where should the peaker plants be located? Should they be in close like a Quail Brush, or can we do it from a remote location? And how should they be owned? And how can they be built so that they don't become such a burden on ratepayers because of the expense of building these things? But yes, a part of having a renewable portfolio to avoid brownouts and blackouts is to have on-demand capacity.
Now, that was Jim Waring. He was basically talking about that we need them for brownouts and blackouts, and as you heard, he also talked about that he wanted to see if it wasn't a burden on, the ratepayers. What's your response?
My response is I do agree with Jim that it would be a major burden on ratepayers. I disagree that these are needed to avoid brownouts and blackouts. One of what has gone on in the last decade in California is a tremendous building boom of gas plants. We have overbuilt our gas plant inventory. We have tremendous reserves of power, even without San Onofre, because of this overbuilding. Including in San Diego County, we have hundreds and hundreds of megawatts of these plants. So the plants that we need for renewable energy are already built. They're already here. We do not need to be building additional plants.
Okay, your solution to renewable or long-term reliable energy sources for San Diego County?
The solution is, as I was saying, we've already built an entire conventional gas-fired infrastructure. That's our backup. We can bring in as much renewable energy in the form of rooftop solar, do smart energy efficiency, and we have the resources already in place.
Already there, so we are out of time. Bill Powers, thank you very much. I want to let folks know that the CPUC Commission meeting is open to the public. That's tomorrow, Thursday, the 21st. It'll be at the County Operations Center on Overland Avenue, and the public is welcome there.